What up, Hyperchange? Welcome to another episode. I just got back from Shanghai, have so much content to share, but first, I came back and this Elon tweet, Contempt whole news is taking the internet by storm, so I wanted to comment on this. First, let's just run through the facts, and then I'll go through my analysis. Basically, what happened is Bloomberg issued this article last night saying that a U.S. court is now holding Elon Musk in contempt for violating his previous settlement with the SEC. So for those who remember, the whole funding secured tweet, drama that ensued, Elon Musk settled with the SEC. As part of that settlement, he was going to have someone review his tweets to the public, especially ones that contain material information to investors. And according to this article, that is essentially the claim that he broke by this tweet thread, which was posted about a week ago. So a week ago, Elon Musk, replying to his own tweet about 4,000 cars loading SF for Europe, says Tesla made 0 cars in 2011, but will make around 500,000 in 2019. This tweet was posted at about 4:15 p.m. So according to my reading, that's after the market closed, which is at 4 p.m. Eastern. At 8:41 p.m., he replies to that tweet again, clarifying, saying meant to say annual production rate at end of 2019, probably around 500K, i.e. 10 cars a week. Deliveries for the year still estimated to be about 400K. So these are the tweets that the SEC is now up in arms about, saying that Elon Musk has violated his entire stipulation that he had to get his tweets reviewed because apparently the information was inaccurate. And their whole point is, he says they will make around 500K in 2019. That is the part that is in contention here, because in Tesla's guidance in their Q4 letter, they said they would be delivering about 360 to 400,000 cars in 2019. And that's exactly what Elon Musk corrects it to, and saying, I meant to say the run rate of cars is going to be about 10,000 per week at the end of 2019. So it's like a very, very minor technical change. And if you remember in the earnings call, Elon Musk actually hints that there's a wide range of possibilities for how Model 3 production go this year, and that he even estimates that Tesla could even build 350,000 to 500,000 Model 3s per year. So tying this all together, the official guidance from Tesla was 360 to 400,000, but on the conference call, they hinted that it could be up to 500,000 units this year. And then Elon Musk, just sort of to make a statement as a tweet, weeks later says, we made 0 cars in 2011, but we're going to make around 500,000 in 2019. Like, look at this progress. It wasn't intended to be like this material guidance, but then he realized, probably his lawyers, probably someone at Tesla was like, dude, that's not exactly what our official guidance is, so you should make sure to clarify it. So he clarifies it to just be on the safe side. And then a week passes, and then the SEC slaps him with this contempt claim and is like, no, you were misleading investors with material information. This is a huge deal, blah, 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 blah. So my take on this is, yes, Elon Musk did sort of mess up here by, tweeting information that wasn't exactly in line with company guidance, but was it around the ballpark? Was he trying to mislead investors? No. So I do think he was in the wrong a little bit by not getting his tweets reviewed and checked. But the biggest overarching theme here is that the SEC is just all over Elon Musk. I mean, to me, this is not like, I don't know. I'm sort of torn by this because I think he shouldn't have tweeted it. But the amount of, snafus that are like, I'm seeing, my buddy Ross Gerber, who's a Tesla bull, go on TV and say like, they just need to take away his phone, and everyone's kind of freaking out about this. But, none of these Tesla bulls or anybody was really freaking out about this tweet before the contempt claim. They're just freaking out because the SEC's reaction to it. And so, yes, I do think Elon Musk violated his terms, which was really dumb, and technically he's in the wrong, but the reaction is what's ridiculous. And that's the part where I'm super frustrated. And that's the part where the whole funding secure thing rubbed me the wrong way, is it just seems like the amount of scrutiny and the harshness of the penalties put on Elon Musk and Tesla are just absurd. I mean, I've seen so many examples of CEOs do ridiculous things in public markets, trying to mislead investors, trying to screw people over, pumping up the stock while they're selling it. And I mean, Elon Musk does nothing. He's, he buys stock in the open market. He owns a ton of this company. He pours his heart and soul into it. He's never trying to mislead investors. He just wasn't clear in his communication, or that's my understanding. And so the SEC jumped on this minor technical infringement that he made and wanted to make an example out of him, because if you remember, Elon Musk and the SEC aren't getting along well. He just had a 60 Minutes interview a couple weeks ago where he basically says he had no respect for the SEC. And so I just think they were waiting for him to make an infraction like this and jump on him immediately. And that is basically what's happening here. So it's a very difficult situation. And frankly, one of my sort of hot take conspiracy theories that I tweeted out last night, which is basically that I believe there is pressure from short sellers, and they are communicating with regulators to put excess scrutiny on Tesla. The SEC and regulators have very limited resources to what they can investigate and, what they're looking at. And they have almost seemed to dedicate a huge amount of that to Tesla. And I believe that's because they have a ton of investors, short sellers, pressuring them to scrutinize every single thing that Tesla does. My guess is the second these tweets went out, you had a blast of messages hitting the SEC from all these short sellers saying, look, Elon Musk violated his agreement. Look, violated his agreement. And then the SEC is like, oh, we can't wait to slap a fine on Elon Musk because he says he has no respect for us. That's how the system works. And if for those who are like who don't believe me and think this is like a conspiracy theory, who's one of the biggest short sellers for Tesla? David Einhorn, someone who I've met in person, talked to about Tesla a ton. He wrote this book called Fooling Some People All the Time, which outlines one of his brilliant short trades, shorting Allied Capital. And what I think is fascinating about this book is it exposes the playbook of a lot of these short sellers, and he openly talks about how he meets and presents with regulators constantly, trying to get them to enforce regulation against these entities that he thinks are doing wrong. Why would he do that? Or why would investors want to do that? Because the second they can create some sort of negative legal catalyst, SEC investigation, SEC contempt claim, these are negative catalysts for the stock that will help their short thesis. And it's not like they're trying to make it up, but they're trying to push regulators to make these catalysts occur. And that's my theory. And the other biggest short in Tesla is a guy by the name of Jim Chanos. You can go read about his involvement in a case regarding Fairfax, which is actually a legitimate company, and see the negative catalyst that they tried to manufacture there. So this isn't something that I'm just saying that's a conspiracy theory. Short sellers and hedge funds are constantly meeting with regulators when they think there's fraud or they want there to be fraud, and they're pushing them to create negative catalysts on the stock. So I think we have so many conflicts of interest and crazy things swirling around in this situation here. We have Elon Musk not respecting the SEC, making a minor infraction of his claims because he didn't have people reviewing his tweets. But was this material? No. Was it in market hours? No. So in my opinion, does this violate the claim? No. And if it does, it's such a minor violation that who cares? That's sort of my takeaway is I read these tweets in the moment and I knew exactly what he meant because I've done my homework. I was on the conference call. I read the transcript. I read his clarification tweet and I was like, yeah, that's about right. That's pretty much what they said in guidance. Who cares? But then the SEC is pouncing on that minor technicality. That is what it is. Do I think this is going to result in some huge debacle for Tesla? No. I think this is just going to be another one of things that in a couple of months will pass. They'll probably fine Elon Musk again. That's my guess. He'll settle with them, pay a big fine. Maybe he won't be allowed to tweet in a worst case scenario, but I don't think anything's really going to change operationally with Tesla. So anyway, I wanted to just share my 2 cents on this news. I kind of think it's just ridiculous that so much, I don't know, I guess at just a high level, I think there's so much worse things that happen in the financial markets. On the flip side, it's like, dude, don't give the SEC another excuse to grill you because they're waiting for that excuse to pounce on Elon Musk. And that's what we saw happening here. Is it going to make a difference in the long run? I don't think so. That's my 2 cents on hyperchange. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on this because I don't think it's important, but wanted to share my thoughts. Stay tuned on the channel. Subscribe if you will, because I have a ton of amazing content about NIO, Tesla, Byton, the Chinese economy, the Chinese push into electric vehicles. I was on the ground in Shanghai, had an amazing time. So I'm going to be uploading all of that content after this video. So stay tuned. If you like the channel, please check out our Patreon page and consider supporting. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.